Dolphins Today is sponsored by Mint Mobile. They have cell phone plans starting as low as $15 per month. If you go to mintmobile.com/chatsports, that's where you can start saving today. We'll tell you more about them later on in today's show. With that, we get into today's show. Dolphins fans, I am Will Scott. Welcome in to Dolphins Today. We got some news to discuss, some injury updates that we're going to get into. We're going to end today's show talking about the latest in terms of the Tua Tagovailoa concussion investigation. But first, go down and subscribe because we're trying to get to 32,000 subscribers. We're 22 away. I'm feeling 22. One of my favorite Taylor Swift songs. Go down, subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 32,000 subscribers by the end of the day. If you want daily Dolphins videos, this is the place for you. Today's video, all about injury updates. We're going to provide some injury updates. We just got word about Jaylen Waddle, also about Tyreek Hill. We'll tell you the latest. And Chugs, if you could at some point show that Tyreek Hill tweet, that'd be fantastic. But Jaylen Waddle is back. He was back at practice today after being listed as did not participate yesterday. So Waddle is back. That is good news. He was listed as limited in today's practice, so good to see Waddle back. He's dealing with a quad injury. David Furones of the Sun Sentinel reported this on Twitter. Still not seen at Thursday's practice. Tua Tagovailoa, Xavier Howard, Teron Armstead, Keon Crossen, Robert Jones, Ethan Carter. Jaylen Waddle, who was seen yesterday but listed as did not participate, was practicing Brandon Jones in a red non-contact jersey. So that's the latest coming from Finn's practice today. Guys, if you want Jaylen Waddle to play, go type penguin down in the chat. Better yet, I want to see penguin emojis. Spam down there in the comments section. Spam down there for penguin. We want to see penguin on the field at MetLife Stadium on Sunday. Do his little touchdown dance. Go and type penguin down in the chat. So the good news is Waddle was upgraded on the injury report. The bad news is Tyreek Hill was added to the injury report. This is what Ari Miroff at My Sports Update said on Twitter just moments ago. Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill was added to the injury report with a quad injury. He was officially limited today. So we'll continue to monitor the situation. We're going to get you guys more updates on this at the very least on our community page. But go down, subscribe. When I'm looking at this, the good news is at least he practiced. If he was out completely, I'd be a little bit worried. But I'm not too worried about his status for Sunday. Want to get into our next story because Skylar Thompson had a press conference recently. He was asked about fans wanting him to start. As most of us know, a lot of us want Skylar Thompson to start in place of Tua Tagovailoa. But here's what Skylar said in response to that. Excuse me. Everyone has their opinion on whatever. All of that is white noise to me. I'm just focused on what I focused on since the day I got here, getting better every day and putting myself in position to help the team win. Whether that's me on the field or practice, helping a guy out with a play. My preparation since the beginning of the season, I've been trying to prepare every week like I'm the starter. I've been able to develop good habits throughout the week. Then nothing changes. It's just getting more reps in practice. And it's an exciting time. But my role here is to support Teddy. He's the starter. I've looked up to Teddy since the moment I got in this locker room. Whatever I can do to help the team is what I'm going to do, and I'm excited for that. But Skylar Thompson's impressive, on and off the football field. You saw the impact he had on the community in Manhattan, Kansas. He was at Kansas State. You look at, the quotes. You look at how he's playing the football field. Everything about Skylar Thompson is impressive. He understands what his role is right now. That is to support Teddy Bridgewater. But if his name gets called, he's going to be ready. I have full confidence in Skylar Thompson. I also have full confidence in Mint Mobile because I made the switch, and it is fantastic. MintMobile.com/chatsports. Even your mom's going to ask you to stop calling so much because you're going to have all this unlimited talk and text, high-speed data. Your service is going to switch seamlessly between 5G and 4G LTE. Whatever network is the strongest, you can use your data however you like, even where coffee shops don't exist. And the great thing about Mint Mobile is they're offering cell phone plans starting as low as $15 per month, and it's so easy to make the switch. I did not have to go to a store. I did all from the comfort of my home. MintMobile.com/chatsports. Go and make the switch today. That link is in the comments and the description of this video. Let's get into this conversation now about Skylar Thompson or Teddy Bridgewater. Who should be the starting quarterback for the Fins until Tua gets back? I put out a poll on our community page yesterday. Here is what some of y'all said. Trim Carpentry, Orlando, Florida. Shout out to y'all. Skylar played perfectly in preseason, which is not the regular season. Just a heads up. Skylar would not be the same Skylar you've seen in preseason. In fact, it'd be totally opposite. Teams are throwing crazy exotic blitzes, dropping back in coverage, and shooting gaps he never knew existed, which is not what they do in preseason. He needs more study, and time watching Teddy will help. So that's a good point there from Trim Carpentry, Orlando, Florida. Brad Boss said this. Guys, Skylar needs time. It takes time for QBs to develop and be ready for the next step. He played well in preseason, but this is the regular season, guys. Teddy has seen a lot and has had some success in the league. So look, this is why we call ourselves Chat Sports. We love audience engagement. We love to hear your takes. Mahali Graham said, Skylar Thompson, for real, he going to help us win for sure. I absolutely agree. Skylar Thompson could help the team win if he gets his chance. Joshua Parsons said, y'all are crazy. Skylar lit it up in the preseason against third-string and practice squad players. That's a fair point. Granted, Teddy also played against backups and didn't play as well. Robert France says, no disrespect to Bridgewater. He's a fine QB, but I'd like to see Skylar. He's young and looked great in the preseason. So all fair takes there, all good takes from our loyal subscribers here at Dolphins Today. I'm going to get to my takes in a second, but here were the poll results. 66% of our subscribers think that Skylar Thompson should be the starting quarterback over Teddy Bridgewater. Over 5,000 votes, and 66% of y'all think Skylar Thompson should be the starting quarterback. Here's what I think. Teddy has more experience, so he should start right now because of that. Teddy has started over 60 career games. Teddy should start right now. However, the leash should not be very long. If Teddy struggles, if he does not get the offense moving, I'm not even talking about turnovers, but the offense is failing to have any sparks under Teddy, then you put Skylar Thompson to find a spark. I think the leash is long. It should not be long for Teddy Bridgewater. Guys, pick a QB. I've asked y'all this a couple times. I'll ask y'all again because, a lot of us have different thoughts about this. Type Teddy or type Sky. Pick a quarterback. Who's the better option for the Fins right now? Teddy Bridgewater or Skylar Thompson? Go down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Want to hit on some more injury news. Clayton Fejedelem has been designated to return from injured reserve. So he was placed on IR after surprisingly making the 53-man roster, but now he is designated to return from the IR. Here's what Dolphins Wire said about that, kind of explaining his situation. On Wednesday, Miami designated Fejedelem to return from injured reserve. He'll have 21 days to be activated from the roster, or he'll have to miss the remainder of the season. As of this year, teams are only allowed to return 8 players from injured reserve in a season. So this would be their first. If Fejedelem doesn't return in the 21-day window, Miami would have burned one of their returns. This is going to be a tough call for the Fins because Fejedelem was going to be a special teams guy. I didn't think he was going to make the team over Verone McKinley III. He did. I still think Verone McKinley is the better player and the better option. But you signed Justin Bethel to replace Fejedelem as kind of the special teams player on this team. And Justin Bethel's played well on special teams. He's been a good coverage guy in special teams for the Dolphins. So this is going to be a really tough call for Chris Grier to make. They have up to 21 days to make this decision. He has been designated to return, so there's a 21-day practice window. So if they don't feel like he's ready after the 21 days, then he can't play the rest of the season. But if they do feel like he's ready, but Bethel continues to play well, I don't know what they're going to do. Guys, should they keep Clayton Fejedelem, who personally I don't think is that great? Type K for keep or type C for cut down in the comment section. Go down, let me know what you think the Dolphins should do. Now let's get into a Tua Tagovailoa injury update. We're filming this video on Thursday. It's very possible that the Tua investigation is going to wrap up by the end of the day. Here's what Ian Rappaport said about this. The investigation is still ongoing. He said this on NFL Network earlier today. I would say close to wrapping up. Tua was interviewed on Tuesday. Generally, the person who's in the center of it, in this case Tua, is among the last people interviewed, so that gives you an indication of how quickly this is going. I think there's a good chance that the report and the NFL's new concussion protocol changes come out at the same time because there is some urgency. The week starts tonight with the Broncos-Colts game. I know the NFL, if everything goes well, perfectly well, would like a new protocol in place by this week so all games would be able to have the same rules. That coming from Ian Rappaport. So here's the timeline. So he's injured versus the Bills, was wobbly getting off the field, returned, won the Dolphins the game. NFL launches investigation into this. So the investigation started before the Bengals game. He was questionable going into that game against the Bengals. He played, suffered a pretty serious concussion in the second quarter. He was stretchered off the field, was not moving. The fingers, were spazzing out, taken to hospital. He was discharged from the hospital that same night. MRI checks come back clean. That was good news. Interviewed by the NFL earlier this week, the NFL investigation is close to concluding. So that is the timeline that we currently have. Again, there's been some reports that they want to wrap this thing up by the Thursday night football game tonight so all the games can have the same rules, the same protocol. So if anything juicy comes out of this investigation, we'll certainly keep you guys in the loop there, which is why you should go down and subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/DolphinsNews. Go down, hit that big red subscribe button.